Hello everybody. Let's understand question number 2 from the contest 466. Okay, the question number 2 is saying the minimum operations to transform string. Okay, so let's try to understand how to implement it. Okay, very first we have given a string s and it consists of only a lowercase English letters. You can perform the following operations any number of times, including what? 0. It means what we have given? We have given lowercase letters string, as you can see we have given here, right? And we can perform the following operations any number of times. Means we are allowed operation is to choose a character C, or we can say we are allowed to pick a character C. For example, we can take Y from here, and then it is saying to replace every character of C with the next lower case letter, right? Means for if I'm choosing Y from here, right, means if we'll pick the character C in the case of Y, let's suppose we are taking, means it will replace every character of C, right, in the string in the next character. Let's suppose Y will be get converted into Z. That is what it is saying. So the alphabet is become what? It's a circular. From Y it become to what? It becomes to A. Let's suppose how to tell you. So very first try to understand what we have given. Okay, so it is saying we have given string S we have given, right? And the string S is a lowercase English letter, like we have Y and Z. Okay, so we have only one operation we can we are allowed one allowed operation is to very first is to pick the character C. Means we have to choose a character, right? For example, we'll choose Y here, and we have to replace every element occurrence C in the string with the next letter in the alphabet Y to Z, right? Means this Y character will become Z. Okay, so this is character, we can say like this. Okay, so the alphabet is circular. It means if there is Z, it should be converted to A, right? So this is a chain where A starts like A, B, C, the 25 letters, and then it becomes the Z, 26 letter, right? So after that it should point back to A, like this. This is the concept we have. So if we will replace, if we choose a character, it should be replaced with the next lowercase letter. Okay, and that is why we have seen this problem. Okay, let me show you the example. So if you go a little down, you have seen the example. Sorry guys, my voice is not good today. So S is YZ and it is coming 2. So if we change Y to Z, it becomes ZZ, and Z to A, it becomes AA. Okay, so in this way we can say we are getting what answer is 2. Okay, because if we choose a character, any in this character, right, we are saying here that we can choose, we can pick any character C, right, and that character will replace every occurrence of the next character, right? So let's suppose for Y we get the Z, right? So if we'll replace that, we'll get ZZ. In the case of Z, if we'll took here, so we have character C this time choosing, so we'll have to replace all the character with the A. In that case we're getting AA. I hope you understand the problem, right? What the question is saying that. So means very first what we have given string, we have to choose the character, and that character should be replaced by a next character, but we should replace all the characters in the given string. Okay, and that we have to check that our goal is to find or you can say make the entire string consist of only AA, right? So the character that we have make it, right, we can say, or for any other character that we have replaced, so the character using a few operations, right? So as possible, right, we can say that means we have to return the minimum number. So how many times we can do that, right? So we know that in this way, if we are choosing y and z, there is a possibility that we can do with the two operations we can do and will return that. That is, you can see the minimum number of operations required to transform s into the uh, consisting of only a characters, right? So if you see the very first, how many we have chosen, what y we have chosen, so it will get converted into z, so we get gz, and then after zz we convert it into a, means to become all the string of yz in the given string, it become aa, only we have applied the two operations and we have returned here. So the question and the goals should be understood, okay, before writing the code. So very first, what we should think about, but we should understand how to how the algorithms we have to approach, right? We have to make the things, right? So very first, what we should do, we should map all these elements, right? All the characters, we can say letters, into the letters and indices. Let's suppose I'll say this is letter and this is our indices. So in the case of we have 26 letters, so we'll say A is 0, B is 1, uh, B is 1, and so on till we go Y is 24 and Z is 25, like that. Okay, so because we have start from 0, so G should be at what, 25. This is what we have to do, means all the letters and its indices should be mapped, okay, that we have to do. So we'll create two boolean array, right? Very first we will check the present, okay, so we'll take the present at I, let's suppose, and we'll say whether the letter with indices I is appears in the string or not, right? So if the indices, the letter with the indices I, right, and that we know, right, so that is appearing in the s or not, that we will check. Then we will take a used at I and we'll check these should be all in the boolean case, okay, this should be boolean, this should also be boolean, okay. So we'll take another array, the very first is this, and there's another other array we will use, right? These are the booleans array, we can say. So used at I, we have to take like whether we have decided we must perform an operation on the letter index I, we can say, right? So at least in the whole process, right, we have to check and we have see that this this letter we have performed the operations or not, means it has been used or not, right? So let's suppose very first we have chosen y, right? So it's fine, right, that it's used or not. Then we came to here, okay, it's used or not, right? In some scenarios the possibility is that the character will be z and then y, right? Or you can say any other characters will be there, so we can perform the another character also. But the thing is we should see present and use. So let's talk about the very first example that we have, okay. So can I say the example we have is s equal to yz, and if we know that the alphabet indices, right, is starts from 0 and goes to 25, that we know that. So the letters we know is start at a to the z, right, that is z, okay. And if I'll talk about the what you call, so these are, let's suppose, called letters. Now similarly we'll say for the present, in the case of present, let's suppose I'm talking about this array, so we'll go from 0, it will be 0, right, it will go till here. Let's talk about if it is 24 then 25. Similarly this is y and this is z, right? So can I say that when we go from 0 to here, right, when we talk about three element x, y and z, if this is 23, this is 24, this is 25, right? Okay, so if I'll talk about, let me clean it so you will become understood, otherwise it will confused. So we have 0 to 23, 24, 25. Okay, now we have taken the character because we are talking about this one, so we'll say a to x, y, z. Okay, now when we call about the present, at the present we'll take from 0 to, it will come to 23. 23 means x, so x is here 0, y will become what, y become 1, and z will become what, 1. Means we have only y and z, and y and z we will mark as a 1. I hope you understand, because yz is present, so we'll say okay, this is present, rest of the things are not present. Okay, now we'll talk about the used one, right? So when we'll talk about the used one, so very first let's talk about, we'll consider that a is already covered. For example, that a is covered, it means in that time we'll say okay, we have used a, we have considered a, and it is already covered, so we'll mark it a 0, 1, right? And then we'll go mark it 0, 0, 0, because we have already used what, we have used a. So like that we have to think, when it is present we'll mark as a 1, right? And when it is used we have to mark it as 1, right? Means in this case if yz were there, yz was present, right? That is why we had done. And when we talk about the a is already covered, right, means we have already covered, so we cannot repeat this again. I hope you understand. If we repeat this again, so we should also have some information that we have used or not, right? So we call this used as a 0 will mark as a true, because a needs no further operations, right? Because we have already done that. Okay, so we'll say a needs no further operations. Okay, keep making your notes so you can understand, right? When I talk about these things again, so you will understand. You can take the screenshots and you can put in your word, right? So you can refer it again. Okay, so now think about, let me clean it. Okay, so how the algorithm letters we will iterate, right? When we talk about how the algorithm iterates the letters, we can say, right? Means one common version is we can go from what, z to, let's suppose down to b, right? We can say, or a, and we can iterate over here. So let's suppose we have 25 v, okay, and 25 is what, 25 is z, correct? So we'll say okay, present 25, mark it as a true. I will mark it as a true. Then we'll say okay, used 25 will mark as a false. Okay, so we'll start at the current, and current will be at where, at 25. So we'll say okay, mark this use 25 as a true. Okay, and then we'll increase the operations by plus plus. Very first, if the operation was 0, it become 1, right? Now the operation is equal to 1, we can say. Okay, similarly we'll advance the current, right? So we'll say current equal to 25 plus 1, right? We have to take, and let's call by the 26. If it is, we'll do the mod, so we'll get the 0, right? So it is, we'll say okay, it means what, we'll talk about used at 0 is true, and we'll stop making. Okay, because we have done that. So let's stop making here, right? Means marking, we can say stop marking. We don't need to do further marking here. Okay. Now, when we talk about that we have done, so we'll say what we have used. We have used now is A. So we have already used A, and we have Z. We have made already marked. Okay. So let's talk about v equal to 25, right? We have to iterate over, right? So when we talk about the next common version, let's suppose 20 from 24 to 20 previously is 24 25, now it's 24. So we'll talk about 24 is nothing but a y, right? Means when it is present, we'll say present at 24 will mark as a true, and used in 24 is false, right? Means it is not used. So we'll start the current from where at a 24 we can say, and we'll do operation, right? Because we have started here, means we have to mark used first. So used at 24 is true, and the operations here will become is plus plus. So operation is 2 now, correct? So when we talk about the advance now, so advance will go to the 24 25, let's suppose, and we have said 25 use is true. Okay, so stop it here. Okay, so both character, when we talk about the Z and Y, in both character the total operations we have performed, and the one operation plus one operation, now the current operation is 2. So we'll return final operation is 2, and we'll return here the operation we will return. So this way we'll say the equal minimal number of distinct letter must pick in some order to make the string S all the elements into AA, like this we have seen. So very first we have take Y, then we have take Z. So the order can be anything, but the way we have to do is that we will use to arrays, right? Present and used, and we have to iterate over the you can say that, right? And when we do the current advance, means at that time we have to check that. So the current that is available, let's call about is current is at 25. So we'll do one more add, we will do keep adding there, and with the mode we'll take 25 26, so that if it is comes 0, means we will put in the use 0 and we'll say okay it is true. So if it is used at 0 is true, it means what? We will stop making marking. Okay, marking, no need to do further, stop it, don't do anything. Okay, like that we have to go. So very first that I was thinking, forget that. Okay, so if you'll say me, okay, now can you talk little bit about the intuition and how to implement it? So we can say, yeah, that we have seen the observation, right? So to move later, let's suppose C to A, right? That can be possible. The character can be anything, right? So we must increment it some number of times around the circle, that we know that. So for a letter with indices, we'll say I, we need to do what? We need D, let's suppose. We'll move around the clock, we can say, or around the cycle, we can say, right? So when we increment, right, some number of times we have to go around the circle. For a letter, any letter will take that with the indices I, we can say. In that time we have to say, let's call the next character will happen at 26 minus I, we can say that, Like that we can also set, and we'll take the mode. That was I was talking about. Okay, so when he was at, when the character is at I, right, we need this one. So we can increment, we can say increments. The indices I should be incremented. If you only increment that later occurrences, right? But because each operation speaks a whole later class, right? The operation overlap and can be shared. Can we say that? So each alphabet slot, let's call about we'll choose B and C. Okay, so if you choose B and C, that needs to be performed at most at most once, right? In we can say in the optimal plan, we can say. Why? Because the reason is that if you need to increment some multiple steps, right, you can perform the sequence of distinct slots, we can say. Let's call X, then Y, then Z. So rather than repeating the same slots multiple times, so the problem reduced to among the 26 letter, right, 26 alphabet positions, right, which distinct the position and must be chosen at least once. So every character in the string can be pushed forward, right? So through the successive next letter until it becomes A. That is what our goal, right? So can I say, if I have to write the very first steps, right? What is the greedy approach? What is the implementation idea? So I'll say, guys, you just build, you can write the notes and you can try by yourself. So build present. What you do? Build present from 0 to 25. Okay. From where? From the string, right? From the string. Now, in the next step, what we should do, right? Let's call like this. So very first we'll build the present. Okay. Then we'll take the used at 0. Okay. And when we talk about used at 0, we'll say mark it as a true. So when we talk about to mark it is equal to true, right? So used at 0 is true, means the target A is already okay. Can we say that? Is already okay, right? Means already okay. So for letters, let's call that we are talking about V, right? From where? From 25 to down 1. Down 1 is at where? At B, right? We are not going to A. We can set from 25 to B, right? We'll go, means from Z to B. Okay. Here, what we should check? We'll check that if present at V, I'll give the name present at V, means the current character, and used at V, right? If present at V and not used at V, right? Then what we will do? Then walk. Then what we do? Then walk. How will walk? We'll say current equal to V. How? This is called forward marking, right? How? Just do used at the current, sorry, used at current, right? I'll mark it as a true, and we'll do operation plus plus until you reach some current where used at current is already true. right? That time you have to stop, right? What we need to say, you do this, you the forward marking, if the present at the given current letter v and the current character not in use, then walk forward, mark current as current equal to v and keep moving ahead and keep marking that used at the current is true, operation is plus plus, right? We have to keep moving forward and marking this used at current is true and operation is plus plus until you reach to the current where uh, uh, say until you reach some current, right? Until you reach some current, right? Where used at current is already there, right? Means stop. It means what? Stop. We will not do anything. Otherwise, in 2, this is a operations is our return. Operation is our answer. So in this way we have to find. So can I say this is what we need to do, and this is our fourth position, we can say, where we will do these things and will return it. It's not, we don't require. Okay, so in the fifth point we can say, so to actually perform the operations on the string, right, we have to apply the operations and we have to mark the letters in the increasing index order. So we'll keep increasing the index ahead. Okay, and that is what we need to do. So what I told you, very first we'll build the present from where 0 to 25 from the string, right? And we'll say used at 0 is true, from true, and we'll say because target a is already okay, and for the current letter, let's suppose letter is, for letter v will go from 25 to 1, means we are talking about z to b, right, for any letter v. So if present at v and not in use, right, then keep walking, right, and we'll say current is at v, go forward marking at current used at current, will say mark is true, operation plus plus. So it means what, if the present and it is not used, then we have to walk, right, and will be at current and will keep a loop, right, and will keep moving ahead, and we'll say when you are good, when you are keeping forward, right, you have to make what, you have to make used at current we have to as a true, and operation is, we have done the plus plus, and once you have marked it, you will say okay, you have reached to some order, is fine, keep it stay there. Means if the present is there, right, and not used, like that we have to go, okay, until you reach some point current where it is already used, will stop there. Understand? Means the stop, the change should be a stop. In the next step, operation we already done, the we have the recent order, and this thing is, this condition is fails, means in the next step operation will come, right? So at this operation we have to return the answer. And the last step you can say, because we actually perform the operations on the string, so we have to apply the operations on the mark letters, and we'll keep increasing the next letters, right, for this case we can say. So we have to move. Now let's talk about why this is important, why it is minimum, right? Because each marked use is a corresponding to one distinct required operation, so you cannot avoid performing the slots, you can say, right, at least once. So the greedy making merges overlap requirements. So if two letters or path forward collides, right, they share the suffix and then mark the suffix once. That merges that merging is optimal because we share the suffix of the increment and can be satisfied. So when I write the code, you will understand. Okay, so now try to understand the complexity. So it's videos become larger, so I'm trying to finish it early. Okay, if you have any doubt, you can ask me the question. Okay, very first let's talk about the complexity. So when we are building the present, right, so it will take O of n time. Okay, because s dot length you will find, you will get the n. Okay, then there is a marking process that touches every alphabet, right? So that will take O of 26 and we say O of 1 time because this is constant. Let's talk about the overall. We'll get O of n times and we are not taking extra spaces, so it will take O of 1. So this is your TC and this is your SC. Okay, let's try to understand the code. Oh, I'm sorry, only 4 minutes is left. As I told you, very first you will take the present, right, and then you have to take the characters, and all the characters you have to mark it. Okay, used will take, and will, as you told you, operations you will take. Then you have to iterate over from the 25 to 1 you have to go. You will check present, right? If it is not present, right, and it is used, right, if it is not present, we'll keep marking, right? You have to keep marking, and once you will say it is not used, first mark it as a used and operation plus plus and move the current like this, and you will return the operations. So that's what we have to do. Okay, this is what we need to do. Okay, as I told you, you will write the present, then on the present you will keep adding all the presents, what are the elements are present, then you will take the used, right, and then you will mark the very first used as a true, and then for every element will go from 25 to last element to B. You will check if it is not present, will continue. If it is not, if it is present and it is not used, mark it as a used operation plus plus, and in will go to the next character like this. Okay, so that's all I have, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe this channel, support Expert Funda. Any suggestions are welcome, and if you have any doubt, please ping me in the comment box. For classes, I'm going to start another batch, 3 to 4 inquiries came already. I'm planning to start another batch. Let me know in the comment section if you want. You can enroll in the class. This is a one-to-one session where some minimum persons will be there, right? If you want one-to-one classes, that is also available. I'll check the flexibility of your time, and then uh, we can plan accordingly. Okay, just give a inquiry, right? You can get the WhatsApp number, you can ping me, and we can go from there. Thank you guys, thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.